welcome to Facts and Two Cents. How are you all doing? This is Petal. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby, Lily, Mama Doria, Poola, Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you've all had a fantastic last couple of days. Anyways, happy Friday, or at least I'm recording this late Friday evening, or Friday night, really. So you shall get this most likely later tonight or tomorrow, whenever I post it. So, anyways, what is going on in Sussex world? It's pretty quiet in Montecito, but not so much in the UK, as there are a lot of court cases and all of that stuff happening around the Sussexes. Not that we haven't heard from them per se, but we've heard of the rumblings around them per se. But before we get to all of that, we had a little bit of I just say back news because this happened earlier this month with Princess Lilibet's christening. And so today, who would have thought the Episcopal News Service? Who knew they had a who knew they had a news service? But they gave us a little bit of tea today, a little bit of update, or a little bit of additional information. Maybe I should say that's probably the better term. Additional information as to baby Lilibet's christening. And so part of this we've heard before, but a little bit that we haven't, that I saw today. One of our wonderful squaddies was kind enough to post it today. It's saying that, as we know before, Los Angeles Bishop baptizes Princess Lilibet, daughter of Prince Harry and Meghan. On behalf of the presiding bishop, B. Curry, and at the invitation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, I had the blessing of presiding over the sacraments of holy baptism, was conferred on their daughter, Taylor shared, saying that the service took place March 3rd at the couple's home in Montecito, California. Prince Harry and Meghan were gracious hosts to the congregation of family and friends who were present. And so this is a little bit of additional information that we didn't have before. It says the couple initially had asked Curry, which is Bishop Michael B. Curry, who married them. If you remember, he was one of the bishops that married them in the UK. Says the couple had asked Curry to preside at the baptism, a service he helped to plan. But when he had tested positive for COVID, he asked Taylor to take his place, according to Amanda Skolstad, the church public affairs officer. Curry has since recovered, thank goodness, he has since recovered from his second bout of COVID. So again, Bishop Michael Curry, who was supposed to be the one christening, and again, baptizing babies is not biblically correct in any sense of the word, as if you understand what baptism is according to the Bible, you don't baptize babies. Christening, yes, sure. I mean, that's a word you could use, but baptism isn't. But anyway, that's how they termed it. Anyway, so Bishop Curry was supposed to be the one who was presiding over the christening, and but he had COVID for the second time. So very happy that he is better and has recovered from COVID. So once again, COVID is not, people look at me, and as I walk around with my mask and with my goggles on, and people always look at me weird, like, why are you still wearing that? I was like, I'm still wearing my goggles and my mask. I'm not here to be catching COVID. So there you go. So again, COVID is still here, even though it's not being talked about as it used to be talked about. COVID is still here as we see. Bishop Curry had COVID as of earlier this month. So please be careful. Please take care of yourselves. Keep your mask on. Make sure you don't get COVID. But again, I'm really happy that he is recovered. So that's just a little bit of further information on our little cutie pie Princess Lilibet's christening. So what else is happening? Oh, this is happening. I just thought this was so cute. Harvest Home LA posted this on their Instagram a couple days ago. As we know, Meghan and her team from Archwell went to Harvest Home LA for International Women's Day and redecorated. They had like an empty space, like an empty I guess room that they went in and transformed it into this baby boutique, and I just think it's so cute. I mean, the colors are so cute. I tried to match the colors a little bit with my little with my borders, and um so this is a part of the baby boutique that Megan and her team from Archwell went and set up. And I just thought they did such a great job. And so Harvest Home LA posted it on their Instagram because we only saw like a little piece of it when on Archwell. So this is what Harvest Home LA posted on their Instagram. And it says, thanks to Megan, the Duchess of Sussex and team at Archwell, we are thrilled to unveil our brand new baby boutique. Last week, they so generously shared their time and resources to transform our empty storage room into a charming space filled with donated clothes, baby accessories, and essential items. Our residents have already used points earned in classes on their first round of baby gear. As women continue to work towards their educational goals, the baby boutique will ensure that they graduate from Harvest Home with everything they need. And so that is so cool that, it's just there, all donated stuff that they, whatever point system they have, they can turn that in exchange, I guess, for clothes and whatever else they need for them, I guess, for themselves and also for their baby. And if that's not enough, they have, and Obi found out today, they have a wish list on Amazon. So one of our wonderful squatties, Royal Suitor, she has been tweeting about it and really encouraging people to, if they're able to, purchase something off the wish list for Harvest Home LA, and it will be shipped to them. So I pulled it on here in case if you want to, again, if you're able, if you're not, don't worry about it. Just leave it alone. If you're able, and would like to purchase something or some things off the wish list. And so for the women of Harvest Home LA, the link would be in the show notes of this video. So please knock yourself out. Again, don't feel bad if you can't do it. We're all in different place financially. This is only if you're able to do it. If not, don't worry about it. Just ignore. So anyway, again, the link will be in the show notes if you'd like to purchase some items for the women at Harvest Home LA. So I just thought it was a really fantastic thing that Megan did, and also them doing this. So that way the women could get some help. What else is happening? Well, Dr. Gabor Mate, we remember him. He did this, the online seminar with Prince Harry about Spare. And so he wrote an article in the Star, I guess it's Toronto or the whatever city in Canada. Well, it says the star.com. And so he wrote, it says, some reflections from me on psychotherapy, both the obstacles and the opportunities, based on my recent live stream conversation with Prince Harry. And says, I talked to Prince Harry about trauma and therapy. Therapy that's hidden under my banner there. Here's what he got right about seeking help. And they talked about he talked about different things. For example, Prince Harry talking about him being in a bubble and what that was like when to be able to break out of that bubble and the freedom and all of that stuff. And then Dr. Mate also talked about his experience. It's a little bit of a lengthy article, so again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes. Definitely, it's a good read. Go ahead and take a read, because he talked about himself, his struggles, and also Harry. But this part really Um, this part really stuck out to me, and it's so weird. It's like some of this has got a little bit cut off, and I'm just realizing it now. It says the belief that this is Harry talking. It says the belief that there is something wrong with me is easier to bear than the awareness that my parents maybe not know how to accept me. Well, actually, this is him talking, and then Harry comes in at the end. So, just to be clear, the belief that there's something wrong with me is easier to bear than the awareness that my parents may not know how to accept me, see me if if it takes for if it's my fault. Perhaps if I worked hard enough, I can make it okay. One may one may then become a workaholic, a physician, for example, trying to prove his worth to the world, thus passing his trauma onto his children. Breaking the generational chain of trauma's transmission is perhaps the best reason to consider therapy. It's no one's fault. As the title Mark Willand's book, best-selling book indicates, it doesn't start with you, but it can end with you, or at least be greatly mitigated by self awareness. And Harry says, I, as a father, feel a huge responsibility to ensure that I don't pass on any trauma or negative experience that I've had as a kid or as a grown man. And that takes work, Harry told me. And he puts in the work daily. He puts in the work daily with, watching, basically monitoring himself to make sure that he doesn't pass on that trauma. The rest of it got a bit cut off there at the end. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I'm having issues with my uploading this into StreamYard today. It's not loading right. But that's pretty much what this says. So again, talking about you know um reasons, what Harry got right about reasons to seek help. And one of the big things, as this says, is not passing on generational trauma and getting help to make sure that as a father that he's completely self-aware when, especially in dealing with his kids, in how he responds and he relates to them. So and I like what it says that, it didn't start with you, but it can end with you, at least greatly mitigated by self awareness. You know, Parents aren't perfect. Harry's not perfect. He's going to make mistakes. There are going to be times that, because of his upbringing, um, you know, he's not, he will do wrong things, or he may say something wrong, or it's like, and then have to go back and correct what he says. But so with self-awareness, it's a less likelihood, with therapy and great self-awareness, it's less likely that he will be able to pass that on to Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie, which is fantastic. And again, that's why seeking help, that helps so much, because a lot of times we have blind spots. We can't see ourselves. And with therapy, that could really expose those blind spots, so that way you'll become more self-aware. So I really love this. So again, it's a really good article. Definitely take a read. Again, the link would be in the show notes. So yeah, definitely take a read of it. What else is happening? Spare. It's so funny. I realized, like, last week, I think I forgot to even talk about Spare. I don't even remember if I did. But anyways, apparently, which I didn't realize, Spare fell out of number one in the printed with the hardcover cover, and then this week is back to number one. And I guess Ron DeSantis's book knocked it off of number one, and I didn't even realize. And then by the time I came back this week, it's number one again. And so overall, with the ebook and with the print copy and ebook overall combined, Spare is back to number one and kicked that horrible Ron DeSantis book down to, I mean, I don't know what his book has in there, but he is not a good person. So I'm happy it was kicked down back to number two. And so Spare has regained its rightful place at number one. And also in the Toronto Star, in Toronto, best-selling book in Canada for the week ending March 15th. Again, for the night week, Spare is number one. So yes, Spare is number one. I mean, that's where it belongs anyway. So it's shouldn't shock anybody. That's where Spare belongs, at number one. So there it is. And back to my library Twitter, which I, I've been obsessed with library Twitter. Today, Highland staff recommends Spare by Prince Harry. Pick a format, and then it says in further down, it says Spare by Prince Harry. Oh, the Highland staff recommends Spare by Prince Harry. This in-depth memoir from Prince Harry gives us a peek behind the royal curtain. Thus, this novel highlights Harry's journey through dealing with his mother's death, paparazzi, and other royal duties. So Highland Library staff is Prince Harry Spare, of course, of course, of course. And the funny thing with Spare is like, going through Twitter, some people are now discovering the book, some people are just finished reading it. And so even now, people are writing all of these reviews about Spare. It's amazing. I just saw one review. It's like, please, Harry, drop another book. They're like, it's so amazing. Drop another book. And to that I say, well, there is that 400 pages he talked about. But I don't think that's going to be dropped now. But who knows? And Harry and Meghan docu-series. Remember Liz Gerbus? Liz is the director of Harry and Meghan docu-series. So she did another interview with Hollywood Reporter talking about her life and her career. She's really into social justice and all of that stuff. So obviously, they're talking to her, obviously, as a director of Harry and Meghan docuseries for Netflix. They will inevitably ask her about Harry and Meghan. It's one of those things. For the rest of her days, I'm sure she's going to be asked questions about them and working with them. And so he says, these are a couple of things she says about the project. She said, that project was very different from most of my career. In that we partnered with Archwell, their company, to make this show. Harry had a lifetime of experience of sharing stories with media and feeling that they were twisted into something he could not recognize. And of course, Meghan had a short but very violent experience of that. For them to exert some control over their own story felt okay, as long as the viewer is aware of that contract. It's like if we're making a documentary with recreation, then just let your viewer know that they're recreation. So of course, we knew that she wasn't just doing a investigative documentary. It was with Harry and Meghan's partnership that they did it. The only thing I questioned when she said, Harry had a lifetime of sharing stories with media and feeling they got twisted. Harry didn't share his stories with the media. They basically invaded his privacy in a lot of those things. Yes, there are instances where he talked about stuff, but the things that he got really upset about is those things where they just either invaded his privacy or stuff that was leaked about him by his family or courtiers. So they asked her if she had any regrets about the documentary, and she says, I have no regrets. I don't know if it was the most watched docuseries on Netflix ever, but it certainly was in the first few weeks. Viewers came for the love story or the hot gossip, but we're able to stay. But we're able to stay for other provocative and important stuff. To be able to discuss the history of colonialism with billions of people. When else are people going to pay attention to issues like this? And she's right. A lot of times people wouldn't sit through that. But when you have the Harry and Meghan, story along with that, yeah, people are more apt to listen. And then she talked about a little bit about their collaboration there. It was just like, so you did collaborate with them, or it was a collaboration, right? And she's like, yes, it was a collaboration on all levels. That is true. If I wanted to push for something, I did. That's exactly that sort of contract between filmmaking and viewer that I think is key, so that your audience is aware that this was not an investigative documentary. It was something done in partnership with the principals, and we totally got that from the beginning, that they were working together. This was, she didn't just go invading into Harry and Meghan's life to do an investigative documentary. It was Harry and Meghan telling their love story in partnership with her and her company. So this is some of the things she said. It's, again, it's a long article, so I'm going to put the link in the show notes, where she talks a lot about her career and the different things she's done, and her focus in when she does documentary. Again, she's very much into social justice and all of that stuff. So, and history, and as she said, when looking at the history of colonialism and all of that stuff, that was the thing that really captured her. And to be able to incorporate a love story into that really made it amazing. So kudos. And I love that docuseries. We're all addicted to it. So they did such a great job with that docuseries. So yes, kudos. So again, the link for this uh article will be in the show notes. So definitely take a read if you like. Um, Change of pace. But staying on Prince Harry, there was Prince Harry in a court case today. Actually, him suing the Mail on Sunday for that defamatory piece they wrote about, saying that he lied when he said that he had offered to pay for his security at the Sandringham Summit, and so the Mail on Sunday wrote this article that he was lying, that his people misled the public and all of that stuff. So Harry sued them for defamation. So today was a hearing, and so on that, and so Harry is asking for a basically a summary judgment, the same as what Meghan got when she sued the Mail on Sunday for printing her letter. So she's asking the court for the summary judgment because it's clear that what Mail on Sunday wrote was incorrect. Mail on Sunday, for some reason, they've included some, an email from Omid Scobie. And it's so funny with Mail on Sunday, every time there is a court case against them, they always try to wrangle in Omid Scobie and wrangle in the fact that he wrote the Harry and Meghan docuseries. And it's like, how many times are you going to use, whether it's email or something that Omid's, like, he's the only reporter that tweets about this stuff. And it's just such it's so disgusting that they always try to paint this image of Omid Scobie being a friend of the Sussexes when that is obviously not true. And so again, they're trying the same thing. And then they've also, I guess, got a letter where in April, Harry wrote to the Queen letting her know that they are not able to pay for their security, or they would only be able to pay for their security when they get a job, which they, when they started working and making their own money, which they did in short order, and so are able to pay for it. But again, that this case, it was today. Harry wasn't a part of it. Just his attorney, and also the attorneys from the Mail on Sunday. So we'll see. The judge. They've postponed judgment, so somewhere in the future, these things take forever for some reason. Somewhere in the future we'll hear the outcome of this, whether Harry will get his summary judgment or not. And so this is a little bit about it. It says Prince Harry sues tabloid for defamation over security story. Harry's lawyers, also part of this, Harry's lawyers have said that the prince is reluctant to bring the couple's children to the UK. Basically, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet to his homeland because it is not safe. So, which probably means that if this is what, where we are with this still, which probably means that maybe Harry is just going to go for the coronation by himself if he goes to the coronation, because again, he has a court date a couple of days after the coronation. So unless he decides to not just completely skip the coronation and just go for the court case, which is something he can do as well. But looking at it, logistically, whatever, if he's going to go 3 days after, I would assume he would be there for the coronation and then just stay for, the court case, I guess. But anyways, going on with this, it says Harry sued the Associated Newspaper over the February 2022 Mail on Sunday article headlined Exclusive How Prince Harry Tried to Keep His Legal Fight with the Government Over Police Bodyguard Secret. And then, just minutes after the story broke, his PR machine tried to put a positive spin on the dispute. Harry claims that the newspaper libeled him when it suggested that the prince lied in his initial public statement about the suit against the government. In July, Nicklin ruled that the article was defamatory, allowing the case to proceed. The judge has not yet considered issues such as whether the story was accurate or in the public interest. So this is what they did today, and so sometime in the future the judge will make his ruling. And again, this stuff seems to take forever. Also, speaking about the case coming up in May, 3 days, I think May 9th, 3 days after the coronation, Byline Times wrote an article about it. And so they kind of give it's actually a pretty long article. Again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes, so definitely take a read. But also, I'm so happy the fact that they did some bullet points about the court case. And it says, the first senior British royal to ever enter the witness box in the High Court will allege Piers Morgan oversaw a conspiracy of newsroom criminality at the Daily Mirror, reveals Dan Evans. So Prince Harry is going to be the first ever royal to take the witness stand. And of course, that almost happened before when the Queen and when the royal family did the court case against Paul Burrell, with that case about him stealing Princess Diana's clothes, and then the Queen at the last minute jumps in, well, actually he did tell me about it. Very highly doubtful. Most what most people believe is that Paul Burrell had some very damaging information that probably would have come out in court. So the Queen stepped in and claimed that she knew about the supposed theft. And so therefore that whole case was squashed. And so Prince Harry is now going to be the first royal to be on a witness stand, and apparently is going to be in person. So again, if this is May 9th and the coronation is May 6th, it stands to reason that at least Prince Harry, may not be Meghan and Harry and Meghan, Lilibet and Archie. Maybe they'll stay in the US and celebrate Archie's birthday or whatever, or Harry, goes to the coronation and then stay for the court case. So, or they all go, and I don't know. But the thing about it is they said that it was dangerous and he's hesitant to bring his kids there because it's dangerous. So whatever, he's most likely, apparently this is what they're saying, that he's going to be there in person to, be on the witness stand for this. So again, or it could again be that he's just gonna skip the coronation and get there by the 8th, so he can be on the stand on the 9th. I don't know. So we'll see whatever choice they make. But for me, looking at it, with a clear head, I think what is probably going to happen is that they'll be there for the coronation. Him and Meghan will be at the coronation, whether Archie and Lily are there or not. I mean, most likely they may stay in the US, or they, stay wherever, whether it's, I don't know that they will stay at Frogmore. That's a whole other issue. That's just so complicated. I'll just wait and see what he does. With the coronation again, I am not doing any episodes on the coronation. But it will be very interesting to see what choices they make. Will I be surprised if he's there for the coronation? No. One, because as I looked at it, it's like, okay, even though that, I am not here for this coronation, whatever, the coronation is not a family affair. It's a state. It's a country affair. It's a more, um, and so because knowing Harry and knowing his commitment to the people of the UK, and like he said, he was stepping back, not stepping down. He will always serve the people of the UK. He could, the way this is more of, again, it's not just a family thing he's going to. This is something that has to do with the country, as a head of state, as a country. So he might feel obligated to be there for that. He is, still a council of state. So he might feel responsibility for that as well. And again, Harry has always said he's not walking away from his people. He loves his people. He loves his country. He still loves his family. In spite of what all that has happened, he's always stated this. So, and again, reading the book, even with monarchy, he said specifically he doesn't have a problem with the idea of monarchy, just not maybe the way how it's run, and also the relationship with the press. That's what he has an issue with. So, it's so funny. I was listening to the book again, Spare Again, and one of the things he literally says, "I will always support my grandmother in as alive and also in after she passes, and so he will always support her." And so for me, that means he's always going to support the monarchy. Harry's not anti-monarchy. He's anti the relationship they have with the press, and so, and basically how it's run with the courtiers and all of that stuff. He is very much anti that, not the monarchy itself. It's really wild getting specific on the things that Harry is against and what he is not. I'm very anti-monarchy. That's my stance. Abolish it. That is not Harry's stance. And so I have to be like, oh wait, okay. So, anyways, back to that's sort of that's a little bit of a tangent going away from what I really want to talk about. But um these bullet points from the case, Harry will take aim at Piers Morgan in person from the witness box, in doing so making legal history in a landmark civil trial. The other bullet point, Piers Morgan is accused of overseeing and approving industrial scale criminal news gathering when he edited the Daily Mirror between 1995 and 2004. Also, it says he is also said to be involved in a board level cover up of newsroom crimes from police and shareholders, which the publishers deny. Harry will claim that Morgan's Mirror targeted him with illegal private investigators and phone hacking from the age of just 12, while Morgan has missed a deadline to defend himself with a sworn statement and looks unlikely to enter the witness box himself, while five claimants go to battle on behalf of potentially thousands more to resist publishers' bid to time limit lawsuits on a technicality. So these are some of the bullet points that, Piers Morgan, he was supposed to file a defense. There's a date where he's supposed to file a statement to defend himself, and he's missed that. He has not filed a defense. They don't expect him to take the witness stand, but according to this, Harry is expected to take the witness stand, and I don't think that is via their secure, Zoom or however. They are saying that he is expected in person. And again, that is why I believe more likely than not, he would be at the coronation. Because if he's there for that 3 days later, it stands to reason he'll be there for the coronation. But again, if he doesn't, great, because I don't want them to go. But, anyways, we will see. What else? Oh, actually, even before we get to this, there was a Meghan and her lawsuit with her sister, Samantha Markle. Samantha Markle was demanding that Meghan set up these depositions with all of these other people, and they wanted to do, she did wanted to, I guess, present it to the judge in person and all of that. And so that was denied. So the funny thing was with this thing with making demands of Meghan to, set up deposition with other people. This was filed before the hearing to dismiss. And we are only now getting a judgment on that. We still haven't got the judgment on if the case will be dismissed, which again, Florida. I'm like, this has been almost a month that they did the hearing to dismiss the case. And here we are, the 16th of March, and still no word is if this case is going to be dismissed. And again, Florida, people from Florida, even judges. It's like, I don't trust anything out of Florida. I can't believe this nonsense. And even, someone posted something, Samantha even now is still libeling Meghan. It's just like, I can't believe this thing is allowed to go on. But here we are. So anyways, who knows what will happen with that. They pushed back the date for discovery until July. So maybe they're still just waiting for the judges, the judges ruling on if the case is going to be dismissed, which it should be. There is no reason this case is still here, but here we are. Anyways, moving on to this. We remember this. Denmark, the royal family of Denmark, yes. Queen Marguerite, who callously stripped her four grandchildren from her second son, Joaquin, stripped them all, including the oldest two who are biracial. And, being racist, and then the other younger ones getting, also getting caught up in that. Oh, let's strip them and let them, go off and carve their own future. Or in other words, we don't want you, and I'm, it's just me, but it just come across as a really, why strip your biracial grandkids, and then the youngest two are basically collateral damage, so because it definitely affects them. For me, how I look at that, it's just racism. It's just racist to do that. And so anyway, they were stripped in January, which was, when they had said last year, it was January. So they no longer have their prince and princess titles. They are still in the line of succession, but they have been stripped of those. So I know when it all came out, they were all really upset. And Queen Marguerite apologized, for how that all went down. She hasn't backed down with stripping them, but who knows if they've been able to repair their relationships. That would be very hard to do, because of how she went ahead and how callous she was. But who knows? Maybe there's forgiveness all around. But that didn't stop her from doing this. On September 21, on 1st September 2023, His Royal Highness Prince Joaquin begins a new position under the Ministry of Defense as Defense Industry Attaché at the Embassy in Denmark in Washington, D.C., where the Prince, as Denmark's representative, will take part in strengthening the defense industrial cooperation with the US and Canada in the coming years. 4 years ago, Prince Joachim and his wife Marie, together with the couple's two children, the youngest ones, moved to France. The reason was that Prince Joachim began France's highest-ranking military education course as a supplement to the prince's long-time engagement in the defense. As the education concluded, both the prince and princess were affiliated with the embassy in Denmark in Paris as defense attaché and special cultural representative, respectively. Prince Joachim and his family will move to Washington, D.C. during the summer of 2023. So as one person says, Queen Marguerite is definitely exiling her second son. First to France, now it's like, that ended. Okay, let's see if we can ship him off to America, far away from the ones who are going to be ruling her first son and his family, all of whom retained their title, by the way. And so, yeah, let's give him a fancy title in France. And when that comes to an end, let's give him another fancy title and ship him off to America. It's just, I don't know how he takes this. Maybe he looks at it as an honor, but it's just, looking at that situation is very clear who this heir is and who the spares are. Unbelievable. Anyways, moving on from Denmark and their royal drama, on to Prince Charles's royal coronation drama. Yeah, and it's again one of those things. Over the last couple of days, I think it was 3 days ago. I think it was. There was this massive protest in the UK, and where people were striking, all kinds of, whether it's nurses or teachers or railway workers, so many different organizations striking, and had this huge parade, hundreds of thousands of people marching through the streets of the UK. And you would barely see a blip of it in the media. It was not, yeah, some, outlets covered it, but for the amount of people that were protesting, the media coverage was so scant compared to that. It was unbelievable. Instead, they were focused on Harry and Meghan, some nonsense about Harry and Meghan. And it was the most incredible thing to see, because I was, wondering, where's the outrage? Why aren't people taking to the streets? And obviously, we know that in May 6th, the coronation is happening. That protest that I saw a couple of days ago is what needs to happen on Coronation Day. And one of the reasons is this: big screens to show King Charles III coronation. The coronation of King Charles III will be shown on big screens at locations across Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. It has been announced. The King will be crowned at Westminster Abbey on Saturday, May 6th. Screens will be put up for people to watch it in Leeds, Hull, Huddersfield, Barnsley, Bradford, Halifax, Dewsbury, Wakefield, Barnsley, and Lincoln. Cultural Secretary Fraser said that they would help people come together, they said they will help people come together to mark the exciting and historic event. The Department of Culture, Media and Sports said it had made more than £1 million available for screens showing the coronation across the country. Think about that a second. Look at all these people, and I put these people on the side there for a reason. Look at all these people sleeping on the streets. All these people in the UK who can't feed their family, who can't afford heating, to heat their home, who can't afford groceries, who can't afford all of these things. Yet the Department of Culture, Media and Sports are using £1 million of taxpayer money to buy and to put up screens across the UK so people could watch a coronation that none of them asked for. £1 million. And that is on top of all the millions that are going to go into this coronation, so that Charles and Camilla could sit on the throne doing things that they already have the titles. That is unnecessary. All these hundreds of millions of dollars that's going to be going into this coronation. And on top of that, to add insult to injury, they are setting aside another million to put up screens so people can't watch it on their TV or get together with their relatives or friends to watch. No, we got to spend £1 million, £1 million, sorry, to put up screens across the UK. So because it's for the people. It's so they can have fun. It's so they can come together for this historic event. Again, nobody asked for this coronation. People are starving. People are cold. People don't have jobs. People are striking because they don't have decent wages. Yet this man is wasting £1 million on TV screens for an event none of these people are asking for or have asked for. The coldness of this is just, and callousness is unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable, the callousness of these people. And so for me, along with, as we talked about Republic groups the other day, whether it's, fake or real, their protests, whatever it is, they'll be out there protesting. And I hope that hundreds of thousands of people that I saw in that protest is what happens for the coronation, because this is despicable. This is beyond despicable. And so I'm like, I and what are people, what is the press doing? Instead of calling out the royal family, calling out King Charles for this, they're hailing it. Big screens to show Charles III coronation, not your headlines, Charles wasting taxpayer money on TV screens that nobody asked for, which should have been the headline. But because the BBC and others of the press are sycophants, it's all about big screens so that bring people together to watch a coronation, again, that nobody asked for. Unbelievable. Anyways, moving on to more pleasant news. Invictus is happening. Invictus UK unveiled their team. And that's all of them there. We are so excited to reveal Team UK for Invictus Games. The Düsseldorf will be supporting 59 participants throughout their training and during the games in September in partnership with Defense HQ. Drop some word of encouragement to help cheer them on. And Rachel Williams, and that's her in the front on the right, she was the captain last time. Don't know if she'll be the captain again this time. She says, Class of Invictus 2022 hashtag 2020 back for more. So that was the team that was there in the last the last games at The Hague. So they are back for more. They are part of this team. So they unveil it today. They are very excited. So hopefully this time they'll get treated a lot better than what happened the last time at The Hague, because we talked about that. They weren't treated well. So yeah. And the Defense Department, the Ministry of Defense, put this out. It says Invictus Games is an inspiring example of how resilience and discipline gained during military career can be applied to the sporting arena. Being a part of Team UK is a rewarding opportunity for both our service personnel and veterans who have given so much to the armed forces community in keeping the nation safe. And a little bit more about it. 59 Ministry of Defense tweeting, 59 serving UK armed forces personnel and veterans will represent the nation at the Invictus Games in Düsseldorf in September. With Team UK unveiled today, Defense Minister A.W. Merson recognized the enduring inspiration of the Invictus Games. IG23, IG Team UK. And then Invictus Düsseldorf tweeted, "We look forward to welcoming IG Team UK to Germany soon. We're proud to host such inspiring examples to us all." And they also, JJ Chalmers put out a video just, talking about it, how exciting it is and all of that stuff, that Team UK is here, that they have chosen and all of that stuff. So the British Legion, who they're the ones that took over training Team UK, they said, "Big thanks to you, JJ Chalmers, RN, for hosting our Invictus Day Team UK brunch. JJ took part in the games in 2014, making it all the more special that he could join our participants today at the start of their recovery journey." And so, so Team UK is all excited. Again, I hope for their sake, and I hope that they have that they are treated much better this time and than they were treated the last time. So we will see. Fingers crossed for Team UK. What else? Finally, I love it. I love when people quote Megan. I love when people, there's so many organizations that just, things that she says to encourage and inspire, especially as women. Different organizations always quote it, and I just love it. I love that. So workingwomen.com used one of her quotes. She says, we just need to be kinder to ourselves. If we treated ourselves the way we treated our best friend, can you imagine how much better off we would be? Meghan Markle. So women empowerment. So again, I love how her quotes are just plastered around so many different organizations that they usually posted to inspire their people. So kudos to Megan once again. Anyways, so that's it. I think that's it. Yep, that's all I got. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia Church, Nelly, Karen M, and Cookies and Cream, who may or may not, depend on how I drop this, be in the chat, or they are there when we do live chat. So thank you to our awesome moderators who do a fantastic job in keeping our space safe. Thank you to our wonderful 2 Cents Crew members who support the channel on a monthly basis to help us to be able to purchase the things we need to be able to do these podcasts and to pay for the services that we use to bring these podcasts, whether it's live or video. It all costs, and so your funds really help a lot. So thank you to all of you who support the channel monthly. And thank you to our Gold Star supporters who support in our live chat, whether it's super thanks, super stickers, super chat, or just straight donations, PayPal, Cash App, or merchandise. Thank you all so much for your incredible support. And if, as you can see, the scrolly in the bottom there, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. And please like and share this video. Help us to continue to build the platform, build the channel. It's slowly growing, which I'm grateful for. So help us build it, continue to build it, I should say. And if you're able, join our 2 Cents Crew. Again, to help support the channel on a monthly basis. So thank you all so much for your incredible support. I appreciate it. I will put this down there. And yeah, that's all I got and for today. And hopefully my next one will be alive. My schedule is a little bit crazy, so we will see. For now, I can do videos. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Have a great whenever you see this, whether it's night or morning, have a great day, have a great evening, and I will see you next time. Bye. Sending you lots of love.